Our top focus in this edition, the United States has announced the withdrawal of visas for foreign students if their classes move fully online. What are the ramifications and the implications? The Indian students will be the second worst affected by this move. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency has said that students could face deportation if they do not switch to a course with in-person tuition. This comes as universities turn to online classes increasingly amid the pandemic. It is not clear how many students will be affected. Large numbers of foreign students, of course, travel to America to study every year, and they are a significant source of revenue for universities as many pay full tuition. Earlier, Harvard University announced that all course instructions will be delivered online when students return for the new academic year. The U.S. government student and exchange visitor program had permitted foreign students to continue only with their spring and summer 2020 courses online while remaining in the country. According to the U.S. Commerce Department, international students contributed $45 billion to the country's economy in 2018. The largest number of international students come from China, followed by India, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and Canada. And joining us live on the broadcast this minute is our correspondent Simon Marks. Hi, Simon. First up, India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla has held a virtual or Foreign Office consultation with the U.S. Under Secretary of State. Tell us more about the discussions that took place, and with these conversations happening, what do we expect over the next few hours?
Well, look, I think the outcome of all of this is extremely uncertain. President Trump is going to be holding an event at the White House in around 4 hours' time that's going to focus on his call for schools and universities all over the United States to reopen fully with in-person live classroom teaching starting in the new academic year when it gets underway in September. Now, the difficulty that the president finds himself in is that there are over 13,500 individual school districts all over the country, and of course tens of thousands of higher education institutions, and the private ones make their own decisions, the school districts make their own decisions, and none of those institutions reports to the White House. So much as President Trump would like to see these institutions operating as normal in September, the reality of the situation is that COVID-19 is spiraling out of control in many states from coast to coast, and as a result, educational institutions here are having to decide what to do about that. And in many cases, they're either going completely online in September or are engaged in blended learning. So, for those foreign students that are coming here to enjoy the fruits of an American education, the outcome is going to be extremely uncertain if the Trump administration sticks to this plan to deport students if their institution is only offering online learning. And the difficulty with all of that is that these educational institutions are looking at the reality of COVID-19 minute by minute. So Harvard University can say one thing today, it can change its mind in 2 weeks' time and 2 weeks thereafter, meaning that 1.1 million foreign students in the United States, including, of course, many Indian students that come here, could end up having an extremely uncertain experience with the threat of deportation hanging over them.
Right. Interestingly, Simon, this is coming at a time when the U.S. president, of course, all throughout has tried to portray that the situation in the United States is under control. Now, to what extent are the universities actually considering going fully online, and is that even possible?
Well, a lot of them are considering going fully online, certainly taking a blended approach, and many school systems here are thinking along similar lines, either allowing, half the students to be on campus for one part of the week, the other half for another part of the week, or in the case of some institutions, simply saying that the situation now is so unpredictable. And in some parts of the country, Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, COVID-19 now aflame to an extent where some universities may well decide to go online only. And one of the difficulties here is not just dealing with the public health issues as they pertain to students on campus, but it's also dealing with the public health concerns and expectations of lecturers and academics who in large numbers are saying to their employers, you can open for class if you want, but I'm not comfortable teaching in a classroom on campus. So these are very, very complicated issues. And the Trump administration, by issuing this threat to students from India, from China, from other parts of the world, is not just threatening to make life very difficult for the students themselves. It's also using this threat as a tool to try and encourage American universities to open their doors. Because remember, the money that foreign students bring here and spend here, it's worth more than $45 billion a year to the United States. That's one of the reasons why President Trump wants these educational institutions operating full tilt. The US right now needs the money, so he's hoping that this is going to be an instrument, a relatively blunt one, that encourages universities to open their doors.
Indeed, far-reaching implications of that move. We will, of course, keep a close eye on which way the discussions are headed. We're going to leave it there for the moment, though. Simon, thanks very much for those inputs and perspectives. Now, the U.S. government announcement of the foreign student visa withdrawal, of course, has left many amid a cloud of confusion. Let's try and break down the developments for you further and answer some of the questions that have been raised. Let's begin by answering the most immediate question, which is who all will be affected by the withdrawal. The decision will affect non-immigrant students on F1 and M1 visas. The U.S. government issued nearly 400,000 F visas and over 9,500 M visas in the academic year 2019 to 20. The largest number of foreign students currently studying in the country are from India and China. What happens to the student fee then? There has been no clarity on both the status of the fee refund and that of the admissions. Foreign students have contributed heavily to the American economy. Their contribution amounted to $45 billion in the year 2018. What is the status of the online classes? Several universities are yet to update on the status of the online classes for autumn. Students are being asked to take in-person classes. They have the option to transfer to a college which offers offline classes. Lastly, how will this impact plans of studying in the US in the future? The visa withdrawal is temporary and the decision has been taken in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, of course. The decision may be reversed when the situation improves on that front.